The People's Temple began in the 1950s as a Christian revivalist movement founded by Jim Jones in Indiana. It initially promoted racial equality, social justice, and support for the poor, attracting a diverse group of followers, especially African Americans and disenfranchised individuals seeking refuge from systemic oppression. By the late 1960s, the temple had moved to California, where it became a powerful social and political force, known for feeding the hungry, housing the homeless, and advocating for civil rights. However, beneath its benevolent image, Jim Jones exerted increasing control over his followers through manipulation, forced loyalty, and psychological conditioning, transforming the temple from a church into a cult. As scrutiny grew in the United States due to allegations of abuse, financial fraud, and forced separation of families, Jones moved hundreds of followers to Guyana in South America, where he established the so-called Jonestown Agricultural Project in 1977. Marketed as a utopia of racial harmony and socialist equality, Jonestown quickly devolved into an isolated and authoritarian compound. People were overworked, malnourished, and subjected to psychological torment. Armed guards patrolled the perimeter, and Jones conducted daily sermons that reinforced fear, obedience, and dependency. Communications were tightly controlled, and dissent was crushed. Jonestown was not a paradise. It became a prison masquerading as salvation. The situation reached a boiling point when U.S. Congressman Leo Ryan visited Jonestown in November 1978 to investigate reports of abuse. Initially welcomed, Ryan's visit exposed cracks in the facade. Several temple members begged to leave with him. On November 18, 1978, as Ryan and his delegation were departing from a nearby airstrip, temple security forces ambushed and murdered him and 4 others. That same day, under Jones's orders, over 900 people, including more than 300 children, died by ingesting cyanide-laced flavor aid in a mass murder-suicide ritual. It was one of the largest single losses of American civilian life in a non-natural disaster prior to 9/11. The Jonestown Massacre was not just a tragedy, it was a global alarm on the dangers of unchecked power, cult dynamics, and the vulnerability of people seeking purpose, healing, and belonging. It demonstrated how idealism could be weaponized by a charismatic but delusional leader, how fear can override free will, and how isolation can turn hopeful communities into echo chambers of obedience. Jonestown is often remembered as a horrific anomaly, but it is also a case study in human psychology, spiritual manipulation, and the dangers of blind allegiance. This event remains one of the most serious cautionary tales in modern history. It underscores the importance of critical thinking, mental health awareness, ethical leadership, and community accountability. The People's Temple showed how even noble intentions can become catastrophic when spiritual authority is distorted into tyranny. It also challenges society to recognize and support those who are vulnerable, emotionally, economically, or spiritually, so that hope does not become a trap, and movements meant to heal do not become mechanisms of control. Jonestown must never be forgotten, for its lessons are vital in every age. TNT Initiative, our race's universal hope.